In order to subscribe to my channel, please click here or click here. Please share, comment, and like my videos and channel. Hey guys, this is Gaurav. Welcome to SaaS with ServiceNow. This session is about emergency response management. A lot of the content of this tutorial has references from ServiceNow documentation. As you all know, we have emergency situations all over the world due to coronavirus. And I also want to request all of you to be safe and take care of yourself and your family. Washington State in the United States developed an application on ServiceNow platform to help it manage its response to the coronavirus crisis faster and more efficiently. ServiceNow announced to provide that application free with other applications to all the organizations and firms. These applications make it possible for organizations to coordinate emergency responses and track employees who may have been impacted due to the crisis. This session is about the same applications which ServiceNow has developed, and the name of the suite of applications is Emergency Response Management. ServiceNow Emergency Response Management applications help your organization mobilize its business continuity efforts during natural disasters and pandemics like COVID-19. Streamline and automate activities on multiple fronts to keep everyone informed and connected as you anticipate or experience emergencies. So ServiceNow developed this application. They enhanced the application which was developed by a government organization, government agency, so that they can manage any kind of disaster happens in any part of the world, and those organizations can manage those kind of situations without any issues. So that's the reason ServiceNow created 4 applications to manage these kind of emergencies and disasters or outbreak we have for example, for coronavirus. So the first application we have is Emergency Response Operations. Second application we have Emergency Outreach. Then we have Emergency Self-Report. And the last application we have is Emergency Exposure Management. The first application is Emergency Response Operations. This application was initially created by Washington State Department of Health and later enhanced by ServiceNow Engineering. The application helps organizations plan and coordinate emergency responses. It supports the operational processes of emergency response and preparedness at the state and local government level. Government agencies can use this application to optimize resources and staffing in critical locations. Next, we have Emergency Outreach, which is used to stay connected with employees via email or mobile push notifications. For mobile push notifications, users should have installed mobile application so that if organization is sending any notification or any kind of communication, users will be notified as via mobile push. So basically, they share important information regarding emergency and safety measures and ask employees to report their status and location. Then we have Emergency Self-Report, which enables your employees to report their health status. If employees report they are going into quarantine, a workflow helps them safely return to work when ready. Functions such as HR can also be alerted. So in this case, if one of your employee, maybe he has to go into quarantine centers, That means he has to go into quarantine for 14 days or whatever days your government has enforced. So in that case, he has to respond to his organization that he is going into quarantine. And in the same case, HR should also be informed. So with this application, HR can also be alerted. This employee is going for quarantine. Lastly, we have emergency exposure management, which identifies employees who may have been exposed to an infectious disease by analyzing an impacted employee's meetings and locations. So let's take a look at what exactly these applications are quickly in my personal developer instance. So if you will go here, and here you will just type emergency. So these are the applications I am talking about: emergency response operations, emergency self-report, emergency exposure management, and then emergency outreach. How can we install these applications in ServiceNow? So it might happen that one of your customer or client would reach out to you to install these applications, to set up these applications in their instance. So how exactly we can install these applications? So you can install these applications with the help of plugins or with the help of application store, ServiceNow application store. And even if you're not able to do it, then you can request ServiceNow, or maybe you can contact your sales representative and he can help you to install these applications in your instance or your customer or client instance. So if I go to my personal developer instance, here I will type plugins. When you will type plugins, you will click here. Then you will see the list of plugins you have in your instance. So active, inactive, both. You have to search for emergency. When you will type emergency, then you will see these 4 applications. That means these are the plugins. If you will install these plugins, you will be able to install the applications, all 4 applications. Here you can see as of now I have update button enabled because I have already installed it. But ServiceNow, I think recently they have published new versions of these applications. That's the reason it is telling me that I can also update it. So these are 4 applications: emergency exposure management, outreach, response operations, and then self-report. Emergency response operations. So let's start with our first application. We talked about this application that this was created by Washington State Department of Health, and it was later enhanced by ServiceNow Engineering. And this application basically helps state and local government agencies plan, coordinate, and activate their resources in critical locations during emergencies such as COVID-19 pandemic or other events. So as you know, the kind of situation today going on. So government agencies, they want to track, or they want to make sure that whatever resources they have, whatever centers they have, you can activate them, you can inform them, you can communicate to them if they have to take some action. Because that's what government has to do in these kind of situations like coronavirus pandemic situation. So state and local incident command centers, they are responsible for requesting, managing, and tracking resources in the event of an emergency like this. This effort requires the coordination of divisional and field resources across the locations and incidents. Emergency response operations enables administrators in both the central command center and field offices to coordinate how to assign, schedule, and activate resources down to the employee activity and day. Similar challenges face other organizations. So emergency response operations can help other types of enterprises as well, not only just government agencies, it can also help other organizations. Let's see emergency response application in ServiceNow instance. So if you will go to my personal developer instance here, I will type emergency. When you will type emergency, the first application you will see, the one which we are talking about, that is emergency response operations. And if you will click on this IMT portal, you will be able to see the portal, the roster portal and the schedule and the incidents related to emergencies. How can you set up emergency response operations application in ServiceNow for your clients and customers? And that's the important point. So nowadays, you know the situation. So we need this kind of application to be implemented as soon as possible. If your organization agrees that yes, or your client or customers agrees this, they have to implement this application. So how can you set up this application, emergency response operation? In order to set up emergency response operations, you need to configure positions, roles, divisions, locations, and email addresses for response teams. Let's configure these options in my personal developer instance. So under emergency response operations, you will see IMT positions. So you can create, edit, or set core IMT positions in this application. Now, why we have this core IMT positions, you will be able to understand later. So when you will click on IMT positions, you will be able to see this current list we have. Now this is out of the box, which I got the demo data. So I loaded the demo data when I enabled this plugin. So that's the reason I have this data. So if you don't need this kind of data, you can remove it, or you don't need to load demo data. You can create your own positions as per your customer or client's requirement or organization's requirement. So here I have this kind of IMT positions. If I open any position, so let's say this one, DEPIC. You can see it says name, full name, it says Deputy Incident Commander. Which group is it? Job description, what exactly this particular position does. So you can see it says Incident Commander is responsible for overall management of incidents. So I won't be reading completely, but just to explain you the what exactly you can put it here. So it's just a job description that what exactly responsibility you have for this particular position. Now here we also have core checkbox. So if you want to make this position as a core position, that you can select it, else not. So it's totally up to you. At the bottom you will see audit history, audit records, IMT roles. So which roles are assigned here for this particular position. Any kind of IMT resources, roster resources you have, it will be shown here. So you can also schedule them, but there's a different way to schedule resourcing as well. That shows the different roster for different resources you have for this application and to manage the emergency situations. So you can also create new positions by clicking this new button. So I will just create a new position. So like test position, and I will give test position, full name just demo. You can also put the group. So maybe this one is operations. If you want to put the job description, I will just put test. If you still want to put any skill, you can also do that. You want to select any branch, that this position belongs to which branch. So maybe I will put surveillance for now, and I will select the core because I want to see what exactly this does. So I will save this. Once you will save this, it will show you the audit history, that what all fields you updated here. That's what you can see here. As of now, there are no roles added to this position. So this is how you configure the position in this application. So next next configuration we have is roles. So here we have IMT roles. Now these are existing out of the box IMT roles, came from demo data. And if I open any role, you will see kind of mapping here. So you can see we have this, I think this is opening directly the position, but if I open the record right here, so you can see the mapping, the position name and the role. So that is what we have to do, because for every position you have to provide some kind of role to them. Depends. And if I click here and I search for example, IMT. So these are existing out of the box roles we have. Now, depend on the kind of position, kind of roles, kind of access you want to give to the different users. That is something you can do here. So in that case, I will close this and I will go to IMT roles again. And I will try to create a new IMT role. So maybe I will select a position. So we created that test position. And which role I want to give. So maybe I will select here IMT. And for any position, that's how they will utilize the application. So basically, this is basically for giving the access to them. So maybe I will select roster user or IMT. Maybe IMT AA user. I just gave this one for now, and I will also make it default role. So that is what, so you have created the role now. So if you will go to the position, so let's check that position. So you already gave the role now. Here you can see the role has been added automatically. So now next thing you have to configure is divisions. So you will go to the divisions. So these are existing divisions we have in the system right now. I think if I open this particular record, you can see it says I think this one C4ARF and manager. You can select the manager, and it is telling you what are the users in this particular division. And then this is any kind of roster requested there. That means somebody has requested for scheduling these people for any kind of emergencies. In that case, you can just mention over here for those rosters. But you can do it from different ways, which we will do it later. So let's try to create some like maybe a new division. So I will click here, new, and then I will just do test division. I will select any manager I want for now. Maybe this one, Able Tutor. I will save this. So you can see this new division is created. If I want to add users in this division, I can also do that. How to do it? Just open this window by clicking that edit button. And then I can maybe put these resources, these. Well, that's it. So you have added these resources, these users in this division. Now after division, you have to configure locations. So if I go here, IMT incident locations. So this is for which incident, for which location incident was created, but I don't have to configure this one. Our configuration is this one, that is IMT locations. So as of now, you can see out of the box we have with demo data these 3 locations, but I will create new one. So if you will click on new, it will ask you to put value. So I will give the name as India. You can provide the address you want. Then you have safety information. So if you want to send safety information to this particular location, what kind of message you want. So that's something you can give for this particular location. You can also give logistics information here, or any additional information you want, you can give it here. Now, if you want to make this location as default, you can also check this box. Now, how this default checkbox will be utilized, we will see it later. Then I can just click on save. So we have created this location. As of now, I don't have any incident for this location, and not even anybody is like rostered, I would say, any resource for this particular location. So this is how you configure locations. So the last configuration we had about email addresses. So I will click on properties here now. So here you can see at the top we have email address of the resource unit leader team. So when you will schedule different resources for different kind of responsibilities and activities, in that case, they will, once you will roster them, once you will schedule them, they will definitely get email. In that email, if they have to connect or they have to talk to resource unit leader, that means they are up to date for any kind of request. So they have to be updated. So in that case, you can configure this email address. And this email address is of your resource unit leader team. So basically, when any resource, when you create any roster, it basically creates an email notification which is sent to the assigned person and their manager. And in that email notification, they will have a link. In that link, if they will click on that link, they can send an email to this particular team. That means if you will mention the email address, email can be sent to this particular team. Let's create an incident for emergency. During an emergency, the emergency response operation incident leader can create an incident and provide resources for it. How can we do that? Let's take a look in my personal developer instance. So click on IMT portal. When you will click on IMT portal, you will see this kind of portal. Now, as of now, we already have existing incident here. You can see right here. So these are active emergency incidents. Now, if you have to create new one, in that case, you have to click at the top. You have this bar. Here you have to click on IMT management. When you will click on IMT management, you will be able to see existing incident in the same list. And then you can also create a new incident. So let's click on create new. Here you can give the name for this particular incident. So maybe Corona outbreak, or maybe emergency situation, high alert. Just another incident I'm creating. Mission number, any number you want to give, maybe 456. Start date, the when exactly this started. So maybe you can put it Monday. Type, what kind of incident is this? What kind of emergency incident it is? So maybe outbreak. Here we have some like maximum recommended continuous IMT working days per employee, that is 7. If you want to increase it, decrease it, it's totally up to you and as per your business requirement. I will click on next. You can see here San Diego, it's automatically selected here. Why? So I can show you why. If I go here, so default is, I think we have San Diego and India. I think it should have taken India as well, but it didn't take it. But you can see it shows San Diego as a default. But if you want to add, let me see. So we have India. So I will add India as well. Ideally, it should show here, but I'm still, I'm not sure why exactly it is not showing over there, because when you create a new emergency incident, it should definitely show over there. Then you can click on next. So it will ask you like a question. Do you want to assign additional positions? So as of now, you can see you have these core positions. So if you remember, and if I go at the back, and if I go to the positions, you have core positions. Let's make it match found. these out of the box demo data positions we have. However, we also made our positions which we just created test position as core, and that's the reason you can also find that position over here. That means these are the kind of resources which will be assigned to this particular emergency. So these are core positions. They have to be there for any kind of situation, for any kind of emergency. So that's the reason they are called core positions. So then I will click on maybe no for now. I don't want to add anyone. Then we have questions for resources. So do you want to assign any resource right now? So I will say yes. Here we have this one. So we have these positions. So maybe I will click here, edit. We have agency administrator, and I will select 30 here. I think then I can put it maybe till Friday. I can click on assign. If you will click on assign, so you can see we have request, we have not needed as well. If you will click request, it will send a request to the manager as part of the preferred person. If you don't want anything, then you can keep this box checked. Then as of now, I want to assign someone right now because I have that emergency situation. So in that case, I will assign Aline Matern for this particular action for agency administrator. So in that case, I will click on, I think even you can see something. I think it shows all the users right now, but let's do click here. So I have clicked, you can see it says assigned to Aline Matern. That is what we have created. I will click on next. Then it shows you submission window. That means prior to the submission, now it is telling you that please check the data. So for 2 different locations, you have these positions. And if your data is correct, your number is correct, the name is correct, then you can click on submit. Once you will click on submit, it will show you, it is also assigned the roles. You can see that because you have already assigned that person, and that's the reason you can see it is showing adding role automatically. And this incident is also created. Now how exactly you can confirm that yes, it is created? So in that case, you can click here and you can see our incident is created with name Corona Emergency Situation High Alert. And if I click at home, so you can see we have this incident. It says 4 days ago, because I think we selected 38 March. That's the reason it is telling you 4 days ago. So this is how you can create incident in this particular application, emergency incident in this particular application. Assign and track field resources for an emergency. Now this is also you can do. So now we have this emergency incident. The next step would be you have to assign and track field resources for this particular emergency. Now, but if you remember, you have already assigned someone. So there was a resource assigned for this particular emergency incident. So basically the resource unit leader, they assign field resources and roles to an incident. Like as of now, you did it as an administrator, but you should have that role first to assign someone to assign the field resources for any emergency incident. So in that case, how exactly we will do? So it might happen that you have not assigned any resource yet. So in that case, you will go to your instance, you will come on the same portal, and then what you will do, you will click on this IMT roster. When you will click on this IMT rosters, you will already see the current incident, emergency incident for different locations. So let's open it for this India location. So I will click here, and here you can see the roster. So for this particular incident, emergency incident which we have, Corona Emergency Situation High Alert roster for India. So it is how you can assign someone. How exactly we will do that? So you can see the dates here from 30th till 5th, that is till Friday for next week. So I don't have anyone assigned yet. What I can do, I can just click on assign directly. So once you will click on assign directly, you will be able to assign a resource. So what I will do, I will click here, I will do 30th of March here, and then I can click on maybe 3rd of April. And here I can search for any particular user assignee. So I think I can assign multiple people as well. That's what you can see. Maybe I will assign Adam Smith as well. If you have a shadow, you can just check box here. So because that means yes, there is a shadow for this particular assignee. That's something you can mention. If you have any kind of special notes for this activation, you can also do that. And now I will click on add assignment. When you will do that, okay, it says start date must be okay. So in that case, I will do select here and maybe till 3. Let it be like that. And I will click on assign. It says must be on or after today. I think we are selecting on or after. Okay, as per the timing, it's 2. Okay, I will click on add assignment. So you can see that these 2 resources are assigned. So as of now, it's pending assignment. So I will click on save now. Once you will click on save, this portal will automatically be saved. So you will go to the portal and now you will see Adam Smith and Abel Tutor are assigned to this particular incident. So that is what you can see here. So this is how you assign someone as part of this portal and track that what exactly this person is doing. You can track the roster right here. Now, if I maybe refresh this window, I think as of now it is not doing anything. Then if you see this icon, that means there is a shadow resource as well. That's the reason it shows this user's icon right here. Now, if you want to assign a deputy, let's say as an example, in that case, what you can do, you can click on this new button. Here you can select the date again, 2/4 maybe. Let's select that. You can check the divisions. So these are the divisions which we created, like this one we created, and this is out of the box from demo data. Here you can mention the preferred person. Ideally the resource manager can assign it, but if you have a preferred person, then you can also mention here. So let's see, I have a preferred person. I want him. So let's see here, and I click on send to deputies. So I will click on send to deputies. When it will be sent to deputies, it will show it as waiting. That means deputy has to assign it, because you don't know whether that particular resource is available or not. So in that case, a deputy will assign it. So now what I can do, I can try to reload it. So as of now, it is still showing as waiting. This is how the roster looks like when you schedule the resources for emergency incidents. So you can see we have ready state when that particular deputy is ready, that yes, he will be able to work. And you can see that particular name is also in green, that Elisa, because that means that the particular resource has accepted the task which you have given to that particular resource for any emergency incident. Next, we have fill open staffing positions for pending emergency incident request. So if you will go to my personal developer instance, here at the top on the same IMT portal, you can see this deputy icon here, deputies. So click on deputies. When you will click on deputies, you will find this pending request. So click on pending request. Now this will show you all open positions in IMT portal for emergency response operations, all open positions. So I think as of now, I do not have any open position. Maybe for this particular incident, yes, we do have, because you can see you can filter it by incidents. So here you have the filtration. Now initially this was selected, so we don't have any resources scheduled, but when I selected this one, and that's what we were doing, so this one was scheduled. So if you remember, and that's what deputy has to do. So there was a request that yes, I want the Russell team requested and they want these resources. So in that case, what I can do, I can click on fill. When you will click on fill, it will automatically show you the preferred person here. And if you want to assign the same person, you can also do that. So let's do one thing. Let's say this Alan is not available. So in that case, I will assign somebody else. So I will assign maybe Ashley. So in that case, I will click on here. I don't want any approval process from his manager. So I will just do click here. So there will not be any kind of approval sent to their manager, because this is kind of an emergency situation and I want to assign the task right away. So in that case, I can click on add assignment. When you will click on add assignment, you will be able to add it. You can see the user right here. It says pending requests, and then you can click on save. Once you will click on save, you can see here it populates here ready to schedule. So that means the deputy has assigned a user and has assigned a resource for this particular emergency incident. So in that case, we can go to our roster again. And if you will go over there, now you can see status has changed. It became ready. That means it is ready to assign. That means deputy has confirmed it that yes, you can assign it. And if you will click on that, you can assign to that person, and then this particular user can be assigned, that third user. So and you can see these users are still there. I think they have been converted into green as well. That means they are totally ready and they can work on the situation you have for this emergency. So this is how you can configure emergency response operations application and utilize it for your organization. So if you want to implement it for managing different kind of emergencies, you should definitely implement it and utilize this application. And you can also customize as per your requirement and as per your customer requirement or maybe organization's requirement. The next application we have is emergency outreach. Emergency outreach application quickly notify employees of important information for an anticipated or occurring emergency. You can also enable employees to self-report their health status via email or mobile push notifications. As you can see, we have this email which we want to send. In that case, if you will trigger that notification, it will be sent to email of the employee, and if employees have installed mobile application, that they will also get mobile push notifications. Emergency outreach was originally developed to monitor and aid in stopping the community spread of COVID-19 among employees. It is a part of the suite of ServiceNow Emergency Response Management applications, which is built on ServiceNow platform to assist companies in their emergency response efforts. So let's take a look at this application in ServiceNow. So if you will go to my instance, I will close this portal now. And here I will just type emergency space out. When you will type this, you will find this application called emergency outreach. And you can see this modules here. We have 3 modules under this: send notification, view notifications, and view dashboard. Send and review notification for an emergency. So let's take an example that you have this corona situation, and now you want to send a notification to your employees or group of people or for a particular location. In that case, you will click on send notification. This will open this kind of form here. And what you can do, you have to, I think this one you don't need to change here, voluntary health check-in. So you don't have to change this event. If you want to change it, it's up to you, but you don't need to change it because this would not be utilized. Overall, you have to select the target audience here. So here you can select the users. Any particular location users, you can select it here, that all the users for that location will be sent. Any particular groups, any department, or any other condition. And if I select here, I think it is giving me all the different users conditions, that which users you want to send this notification, that you can select here. So that kind of, I think, dynamic configuration it is giving you. So you can configure these options without any scripting. Then we have content configuration. So this one, who will be the target audience that whom you want to send this notification. So maybe I will keep myself for now. And then here we have content configuration. That means you have to send what content you want to send them. The first part is email and the second part is mobile push notification. Both are different. You have a checkbox. You want to enable both. You can check this box. If you want to disable, you can just check this box again. Uncheck the box. So as of now, I'm keeping both. What subject line you want to mention? So you can put the subject line here. It says, please help company name. So you can put it here, or whatever subject line you want, you can mention. Then here is the body. So you can put the body, what body you want to send, what content you want to send to them. That is what you have, email notification. Then we have new a mobile push notification. That is the mobile application. So you can push message here. What message would be, but if employee will click on that message, what detailed message would be there that he can see here. This is the content. So whatever message you want to mention, that will be shown here. So this is how you can create a notification during an emergency. So you can see I have clicked on that. So you have created this notification. That means this has triggered. Is it? No. As of now, you have just saved this record. How you will trigger it? So you will find this button at the right top, send notification. So as of now, you have just saved the data. And if you want to send this notification, you can just click on send notification. Now this will say notification sent. So whatever user you will select, it will be sent. View notifications. Now after sending the notification, you can also view them, what notifications you have sent. So if you will click here, in the next module we have view notification. So if I sort it by number, now this was just sent. So here I can just open it. So I will show you the details. If I select I think this is not showing ours for now, because I think we didn't have any kind of data yet. So I think, let me check if I have, I think maybe this one. Yes. So this one, I think this definitely tracked it. And here I have check-in acknowledgements. Now the important part is that when you have sent the notification to maybe group of people, maybe 100 users for a specific location. So maybe coronavirus is spreading a lot. Let's take an example of Spain. So coronavirus is spreading a lot in Spain. You want to send all the notifications to all the Spain users. So in that case, you will put that condition, or maybe you can select the location. Those users will get the notification. Now it might happen that some of the employees they have some issues. They are going to quarantine, or it can be different situations. But you want to check, are they fine or not? Because you are really concerned about your employees in these kind of situations. In that case, what would happen? Employee will get the notification, and they will get a kind of notification. They have to click on a button so that they can confirm the status. That yes, I am totally fine. And what exactly you will get? So if I select here, so maybe it's open the user record. I will open this particular acknowledgement record. Now, why exactly we have this acknowledgement record? That means it will make sure that yes, your employee has acknowledged it. Once it will acknowledge, it will automatically update the data here. So maybe via mobile push, maybe via email, and whatever response he will send, you can see it here as well. And if they have to update the health status, they will also mention that I do have symptoms, I do not have symptoms. I prefer not to say. I may be developing a fever, coughing. It's as of now, this is about only coronavirus. But if you want in any other situation, it's up to you. You can configure it accordingly. But that's what it is showing you right here. And this is the user. And that's what you selected as a user right now. Acknowledged via email. So whatever acknowledgement you will send, the user will send, employee will send, that will be updated over here. And then we have acknowledgement status. So whether they have acknowledged or not. So if they have not responded to the email or mobile push, then it will just say not acknowledged. And it will say acknowledged, that it will update the data right here. In this case, you can track things. Next, we have overview of health status and notification. Now, you have 100 users maybe in Spain, as I gave you the example. Now, it will be pretty much difficult for you to track and read every record. So in that case, ServiceNow has developed a dashboard which will make your work, I think, little bit. I won't say little bit, very much easy, so that you can track the data, you can get the status properly. So if you will click on view dashboard, so in the same application, if you will click on view dashboard, it will show you the dashboard, that what all notifications were sent. So you can see the events here, how many users were notified, how many users responded. So you can see number of users by department, users response breakdown, they acknowledged, not acknowledged. So you can still see that which users have not acknowledged yet. So if I click this here, you can see these are the people they have not acknowledged yet. And that's pretty much good feature, that you can know that yes, everything is fine or not. So but if the people have acknowledged, but even after acknowledging them, are they fine? Because have they given the right signal that they are fine? So you can see I do not have symptom, so that's green, that's only one. But it says I may have symptom, I may be developing some, that's what user is saying. So in that case, it can be a little bit alert. Here I prefer not to say, then it says I have symptoms. So in that case, these are the responses people have given. They whatever, I think they can also mention the message they want to display. So that is what you can track here. But I think this is a really good I would say dashboard, which you can utilize. For this kind of application, and know the health status. Here you have report health status by email or mobile. So this is the notification I was talking about. So you can see it says, "Hi Paul, your voluntary participation." So you can see this message, and it also shows you the options. He can click over there, and then he can respond. Same in the right hand side, you can see we have mobile push notification. You can click on check-in, he can provide the status, location, or any comments he wants to give, and then he can select the status. So that's how he can acknowledge it. So these are the two different way of communications, and these are two different ways employees can report their health status, that yes, they are fine, they have symptoms, everything is okay, or maybe they don't prefer to say anything. So that's how you can see, and you can see all the data in ServiceNow in the dashboard. So this is what this application is all about. And I hope, I'm 100% sure that this kind of application is pretty much useful for any organization. It's not just about coronavirus situation, COVID-19 situation. It can be helpful in any emergency situation you have, and you just want to make sure that yes, your employees are fine. Maybe you can also do a random exercise every year, that yes, all the employees you have are definitely fine. They don't have any kind of issues. I think this is really pretty much, I would say, really important application. I don't think how many people will be using emergency response operations applications, but if I understand this application, and if you will see the feature of this application, I think you should definitely install this application. It will be really helpful to make sure that all your employees are safe. They can work, and everything is totally okay, and your business is not being affected. So yeah, I think that's the application we have for emergency response management. That is second application, emergency outreach. The next application we have is emergency self-report. During a crisis, emergency self-report application gives employees a way to notify their employer of their health status. It also provides a workflow for qualified employees to safely return to work. So in that case, managers and response team, they can track employees reporting. This application provides a digital workflow that captures and automatically rolls up employee reporting data for analysis and action. Because if we have different employees in the organizations, so this application will give an opportunity for every employee, or maybe for a specific group of people, to self-report their status. If you remember, if I talk about the previous application, emergency outreach, in that case, organization is reaching out to the employees to confirm the status. However, in this case, it's totally different. Here, if employee want to provide the status to the organization, to the employer. So if you will see the screen, here you can update the status for the kind of choices that you are in quarantine, or you are reporting symptoms, you are returning to work, or decline to say. That means I don't want to say anything about my status, my health status right now. What can you do with emergency self-report? With emergency self-report, employees can report their status. Managers can monitor the status of their teams. And response teams can view the status of all the teams. So, whomsoever employees are there, if they want to report the status of their health, they can just go to this feature, go to this application, and provide the health status. Let's take a look for this application in ServiceNow. So here I will type emergency self. So if you will type self here, you will automatically get this application with 3 modules: emergency self-report dashboard, all health records, and HR task. If HR task is needed, you can also see here. Configure emergency self-report. Now, you have to configure this application so that users can use this. So you have to change some basic settings and some system properties as per your requirement. So let's start here. I will first search for the roles. So I will go to the roles table because I want to show you the roles we have for this application. Here you type quar. So this is, you can see we have quarantine crisis task user and then quarantine human resources team. So if you want to provide this role, you want them access so that they can go and do the self-reporting, they can provide the status. In that case, you can assign this role to them. Human resource team is for the people who are like global security members maybe, or the HR team who will manage those alerts. That's what you can assign this particular role to any group. Or maybe if you don't have any group, you can create it and then add members into that group. And then we have next configuration as part of the properties. So if I go emergency here, I will have properties. I think it's not showing here. I have still, but that is still okay. We will go to system properties then, and I will show you what all properties we have for this. Here, just try to search for quarantine maybe. Quarantine. I'm doing quar. Yep, I have these properties here. So for example, we have this crisis submit message. So here, if I want to display to the users once after they submit the health status, what kind of message I want for them, I can configure it right here. Because it might show a link or any kind of guidelines. You can see it says, thanks for your voluntary updating us about your health status. Please click here to check the guidelines. So that is something you can configure as per your requirement, or as per your company's link, whatever you have, or you want to give or change any message. Then we have fetch task query. So here, I think for reporting perspective, you have to put the filtration, that what query you want, what kind of data you want to pull from the system. That is what you can see here. Then we have any group, which will be the HR group. So you have to put any team you have, like a global response team or any team where you have to notify, like a HR group, you can mention over here. Then we have open task info message. So in that case, you have like view your direct reports open tasks, like cases, problems, and incidents. In that case, that means in emergency situations, they can directly see that if I have any priority incidents or any tickets I have in those situations. That's something you can see here. Here I have a quarantine out sick duration. That means what is the time frame for that employee for going for a quarantine, or maybe he's sick. That's something you can mention over here. And this is for quarantine durations. This is for quarantine duration, and this is for sick duration. That till when that employee is basically going for sick leave or something, or maybe will be sick. So that is something you can mention over here. So 20 is default, or it's up to you. It's up to the guidelines for from your organization that you can, or from your customers or clients, and that's what you can mention here. So these are the properties which are definitely needed to configure for this application. Then we also have to maybe change some different choices. In that case, you can definitely add different choice list if you want. And also the portal pages. So whatever portal pages we have, if you want to maybe customize them, or you want to add some configuration like knowledge base, you want to change those knowledge base, that is something you can do. So if I will show you, let me quickly show you emergency here. I have self report, and if I click on this emergency self report dashboard, now this is how it looks like. Here you can see the knowledge. Now you want to change this knowledge, so you can change it. You have to change the configuration in the portal page. In this particular widget, you have to change that configuration, and then you can change the knowledge base. Maybe you want to show some other knowledge base. Even for this choice list, if you want to change it, you can also do that. You want to add some more choices, that is also possible. So that's how you can configure this application as per your customer requirement, as per your client requirement. Then we have report and track health status during an emergency. So what we will do, let's do one thing. How exactly we can perform this demo? In that case, I will go to first sys user list, sys user, or maybe I will go to the user group. First I will create a group just to show you this demo, and I think you will be able to understand better. So here I think you already have this emergency HR team, or here you have emergency task user group. And I have two group members, so Adela and Aline Mottern, and I think their manager is also there. I think, let me check. I think I don't see their manager here. Let me try to pull their manager. I think I can't pull it, but let me check it. sys underscore user dot list. So I think we had these people, Aline Mottern, and then we had and here you also have Elva Pennington. And if I see the role, so let's see, able tutor. Okay, so it has a human resource team as well. And what about the quarantine one? I think that will be, let me check. Yeah, I think I have this one for this user. So I will use two users right now, Abraham Lincoln, and I will use Elva Pennington as a manager, because that will be like a dashboard for her. So in that case, what I will do, I will first impersonate with Abraham Lincoln, and I will do the impersonation. I will click on Abraham Lincoln. Now, because you added that role to that user, they'll be able to see this emergency self-report. They have to click on this emergency self-report dashboard. Now here they can update it. So you can see it says update your team about your health status. Okay, yeah, I can do that. I will be in quarantine for a few days, whatever days we have selected as a default, and I will click on save. Once you will do that, they will be alerted. So in that case, I can close this. Now what I will do, I will try to impersonate Elva Pennington. Why? Because he's the manager. So let's click here. So Abraham Lincoln's manager is Elva. So what we will do, he will also click on this self-report dashboard, where, because now he's a manager, and here you can see the status that employees with symptoms are in quarantine. It automatically shows in a different section. And my own health status, that is not available. But here you can see, you can also submit about a person's status. I think this is a really great feature, I can say. For example, you have a team member, but that team member cannot log in to the system, right? So in that case, maybe he can't even open the mobile app. So in that case, he has maybe called you, or maybe somebody else has informed you, because if he's not using the phone, that maybe he can't just maybe do anything. So in that case, somebody else informed you that yes, that person is not well. So in that case, you can see able tutor, because I'm the manager. Here I can just put it here, and I can do reporting symptom, or maybe returning to work, and I can click on save. When I will click on save, I think here it will not show, but let's see. If I select able tutor, I see quarantine. Maybe it will definitely be added. Let me click on save. Yep, we can see we have 2 records now. So manager will automatically see the status here. He can change the status for his employees or her employees. And one more thing, 2 sections are added automatically for manager. And if you will go at the bottom here, team overview. So from here, I think it's really great example that he can automatically see if everything is okay. So you can see Elva Pennington here and 2 employees, but one is in quarantine. And here, any kind of my direct reports open task. That means any important task they have, I can work upon. And that's really, really important to know for any manager, because there might be some critical task. So I think this application is automatically analyzing the data and showing it for you, and it will be really efficient for all the managers, for whole organization, I would say. So I think this is really important for your customer and client, and if they will install this application, it will be really helpful for them during this kind of emergency situation. The last application we have is Emergency Exposure Management. This application helps identify employees who may have been exposed to infectious disease by analyzing the meetings and location of affected employees. This application uses Microsoft Office 365 meeting invite data, the ServiceNow user profile location, and manual entries to generate a list of at-risk employees. So that kind of information it provides you, so that you can analyze the data and see what employees are at risk. Let's take a look at this application in ServiceNow instance. So here you type emergency exposure. So when you will type here, you will see this application, Emergency Exposure Management, with 4 modules. So you have this all option, you can create diagnostic request. Here we have some properties for this application, and here we have diagnostic job. So whenever you will create a new request, that's what this diagnostic will run. So here the request which you can create and how exactly it will do. So it will automatically check the data with the help of the jobs you have the logic behind it. Identify potentially exposed employees. So how exactly you can utilize this application to identify exposed employees? So in that case, what you have to do, you have to click on create new button. Once you will click on create new button, you have to select if you want to use the location. So in that case, I will click on location. If you want to use Outlook meetings, you have to make sure that this can only gather the data from Microsoft 365, not any other version, because that's a cloud version. And that's because else then you will have to maybe kind of a different kind of integration maybe, but you can only read the data from Microsoft 365. There's a different kind of setup you can do as part of this integration or this configuration with those meetings. So I'm not selecting that as of now, or maybe we will select it. It doesn't harm anything. Or maybe from when to when you want to select the meetings duration. So in that case, I will select till here. Any specific user you want to select? Yes, I will select affected user. I will select Able Tutor for now, and then I will click on save. Once you will click on save, then it will try to read the data, it will try to show you, but we will now run diagnostic. So after saving the data, we will click on run diagnostics. So this request will be initiated. So now you will be able to see the data right at the bottom. So the first tab we have is all impacted users. That means all employees who might have been exposed. And then we have impacted through collaborations. That means employees who are already on, like in Microsoft 365 meeting, like they are determined from the affected employees accepted meetings during specified date range. That means they have accepted those meetings from that particular employee, for this employee maybe. That is something you can see. So whatever meetings this person has, if any person has those meetings they have accepted, you will be able to see right here. And then we have impacted through location. That means if employees they are specified by any location or any particular folder, that floors or not folder, floor or building, that you can see over here. All the impacted through that location. And then you have impacted users added manually. So if you want to add impacted users manually, all potential users to be impacted, that you can mention over here. So this is how you can utilize this application. If I talk about out of 4 applications, I think first one is definitely useful. However, you should have that kind of setup and that kind of model so that everybody, like you have some kind of people in those locations in this kind of emergency situation. But moreover, that application is definitely useful for government agencies or companies. And then if I talk about the another 2 applications like emergency self-report and then emergency outreach, I think those are the really great applications, because that will make sure that there's no impact to your work or your business is continued. That's what you can I think get those features and functionalities from those applications. So those are really, I would say, the kind of benefit those applications have. I think it's really great. So I'm pretty much, I think, really, I would say I can appreciate the work done by ServiceNow. Their CEO, who has announced that yes, they are going to give this application free of cost to all the organization. I think that I would say this is a really great step from the organization like ServiceNow, and I really feel proud that I'm working in a skill which is developed by ServiceNow. So I'm really happy, and I think I feel blessed, because the kind of company ServiceNow is it's really great, and they are helping organizations to set up these kind of applications. I think some of you might say that this is kind of marketing strategy, but I think that is still okay, right? Because anyhow, at the end of the day, they still have to earn. But still they are providing some applications free of cost, which can help you in this kind of emergency situation. You should definitely appreciate them, appreciate their work. So I really thank ServiceNow and their and their CEO Bill. So yeah, please try to, if just watch this demo, and if you will understand the application, and I hope this video will definitely help you to understand the application, and you will be able to implement in your organization without any issues. So thanks for watching my video. Have a great day. Be safe. Take care of yourself and your family.